Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Shenanigans, the podcast. I am Tay.
And I'm B. Wills.
And you know what we do here? We talk about stuff, everyday life, and all the things that come along with it. So thanks for joining us again on this journey. Shenanigans starts now.
Excellent. Again, we appreciate all the support. This week, we are going to be getting in something new. We finished a trilogy, thank goodness. Hope you enjoyed that. That was a little rough for me, I have to say, but it was good to go back over that.
Yeah, so thanks, everybody, for tuning in for the first 3 episodes. That was really to help you guys get to know us a little bit before we got into the real shenanigans. And now you know a little bit about us. We got some really great feedback on the trilogy. So, just going to talk a little bit about that for a second and appreciate all the feedback too. So as you guys are listening to the podcast, especially on Spotify, you can see there's a section where you can leave comments. We appreciate any comment that you want to leave, whether it's positive or opinionated. There's a specific phrase I'm looking for. I can't think of it now, but thanks again. Anyway, some of the feedback we got is that I have a good voice for a podcast, which was nice to hear because I hate listening to my own voice. So thank you for that feedback. Some other feedback we got is that B. Wills is funny.
Yes, it's not. I'm funny.
Yeah, that's what they said.
I think I really am funny at times. I have funny moments.
Gonna go ahead and roll with that. We're gonna let him have that one because another one that we got was I'm condescending. That was another one I got that I'm just sunning B wheels all over the place.
Eat the cake, Adame.
Stay in your place, woman. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm condescending. I feel like this is just the way that I talk. I'm just straightforward, and I think a lot of people don't know how to handle someone that's not on the BS. I'm a straight shooter, so
I think what they may have been hearing is a person that has changed. You've always had your stuff and very together and very organized. And I think at times you come off to be the stronger person in it because I quite frankly need that in that position or that particular moment. I
think in any partnership, and now the partnership that we have is a co-parenting partnership, I think in any partnership it's a give and take. Like somebody's going to be strong at certain times, the other person's going to be strong at different times. So I just think it's a give and take. Do you think that I'm condescending to you?
No. See, here's the thing. In the beginning of our relationship, I think I had that problem where I didn't understand how to take you, because of the lifestyle that I lived and the people that I was around. So you coming in and I didn't know what a structured relationship. So yeah, I felt maybe that, and I don't even think I would use the word condescending. I just didn't know how to take you. But the best way to look at it is I don't have a problem jumping in the passenger seat.
Hold on one second too. I want to just say, don't want to interrupt you. I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. But when you were saying that you don't know how to take me, we talked about this, I think it was on episode 2 or 3, how like you were just used to having people.
I said what I said.
No, you were just used to having people kind of basically just do whatever you want. And I'm just not the kowtowing person. I'm going to be my own person. And I'm going to have my own thoughts because I'm a person. Everyone should feel free to express themselves in the way that they feel comfortable. And just because I'm a woman and you're a man doesn't mean to me in my head that I need to bow down to you. I'm a person, just like you're a person. Just like you want to be respected, I want to be respected.
And I think people hear your tone in that one, because even just talking when you were just expressing yourself regarding that. And what's your term? Say your term again. You're not a what type of person?
I'm not going to kowtow to you.
Kowtow. Yes. Here's the thing. People don't understand where you've been and where type of the individual. And I didn't know that. And so I know more about you. I have more respect for you now. As after our breakup, because I really took the time to learn you. Now it's a partnership. I hit the ball and we volley it. And I don't have a problem with letting you take the reins or whatever. Okay, you know more about this. And sometimes it's exciting, or you learn more by just sitting in the passenger seat.
You know, that's a good point that you made too, because I think that I don't want to say a lot, but there are men out there who seem to be intimidated by women who are independent. Like, I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about this. Like, you know, there are men out there who feel some type of way if the woman brings the TV up or fixes the shelf or does something like that. Instead of being like, hey, that's dope. My woman can do stuff like this. We could be like Chip and Joanna Gaines and be out there DIYing the heck out of this house. But some men don't like that. Some men feel their worth when their woman is like the damsel in distress.
I think that's a cultural thing, or not necessarily. Correction, not a cultural thing, but what is it? What's the other one? It's an era. So it's just like, and in how that person was taught, or the people that he were around as they were growing up. In some households or in some areas in the past, there was. Just think about how I would always be trying to take the reins, and you would be like, I know how to do it. And
or just let me try. I like to learn things.
But not everybody likes that. And sometimes in the relationships, the woman will give that man that power to be the king. And it might get out of hand afterward.
But what I'm saying is, does that really make you the king? Because you hang the TV?
It does not.
Or because you can put the shelf together?
Intimidation comes in different shapes and forms.
Yeah, so, I mean, I agree with you as far as, like, the older generation, for sure there was. But the older generation is different in a lot of ways. Like, men back then were real men. They actually took care of all the bills. They understood that was their responsibility. They were the protectors. Listen, I'm not saying that no craziness didn't happen back in the day.
Back then that,
I'm
I
not
think gaslighting was invented back then. They didn't even have a name for
craziness didn't happen back in the day, because there was probably all types of abuse going on in relationships back in the day. But what I'm saying is,
you don't know how to do nothing. You in the house, so you can't pay nothing. Then not another. He came home and took the money and went and got drinking and came up, and basically that's You can eat the cake out of me.
In some ways, maybe okay. Yeah, in some.
I'm shooting holes with that. Give me some shots.
What I'm saying is, you know, the man would go to work and do his manly duties, and so they were in set places, and no one really got out of their place. And
weren't
now
allowed to make waves back then. That's why.
Yeah, and now where things are more fluid. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, obviously. I'm just speaking for myself. I like to learn new things, whatever that may be. I'm a hands-on person. I like to do things. I like to try things. And I can't be with somebody that is feeling like less of a man because, hey, I got a shelf today. I put it together. What do you think? Now you mad because I put the shelf together.
I wanted to do that.
Exactly.
The shelf been sitting over there in the corner for 3 weeks.
Now you got the can't do nothing Kevin Hart face on.
Right? You know what? Just mad around here, stomping around the house.
God. I feel like we got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but there's a lot of dynamics that go on in relationships these days. And I think people just have to find what works best for them.
I mean, do I come across as being a weak man? Oh, you gonna pause? You paused way too long on that one. Oh, you really got nothing to say?
Do you come across as a potato? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, here we go.
I'm just saying that because we also got good feedback on the egg and potato analogy.
All right, we're gonna leave my question alone and go segue into the
I
potato.
I don't think that you come across as a weak man. No, I don't think that. I think that you are secure in yourself enough to have a partnership, which is good, because I don't think that anyone in a relationship needs to be the boss. I think it's a partnership. I think it's working together in everything. So when you can allow that, especially being a man, I think that is going to just endear your significant other to you more, because it shows that you respect her enough to give her space to be who she is. So, I don't know. Some men might think that that's you being a weak man, but You know, that's the manosphere that you have to live in and work through and
The manosphere.
talk to your boys. Yeah, you guys got.
I'm
it's
good
tough out
where
there.
I'm at.
It's tough out there when your boys are telling you, listen, that woman is sonning you, and then you got to stick up for yourself because they're feeling some type of way. I don't know what to do with that. Like I don't have those relationships with my friends where they're like, girl,
Express yourself. Here's my term. I'm gonna cut the grass on people, and go ahead. You want to know what that means, don't you? So basically, my new term is to cut the grass. Is I say what I have to say, I speak it, I get it out there, and then I dismiss it. I put it to where it needs to, whether it's a dismiss, a control, alt, delete, and you no longer a part of the equation, or just expressing yourselves and allowing it to breathe and then moving on and managing it. So I don't mind the dialogue. In fact, I like the dialogue, but as was stated, I'm comfortable where I'm at as who I am as a man, and I feel as though I need to jump in and out of the driver's seat at sometimes. I don't need to drive. Sometimes I need to be in the passenger, and I'll sit in. I don't have no problem sitting in the back seat if I need to, because that's sometimes sitting in the back seat you see the most. It is. You got room to breathe. You don't. There's less responsibilities, and sometimes you learn some things. And I'm a firm believer in, if you allow a person to do what they need to do and feel comfortable, you might really get more out of them than you expected. And I know that was the case in our relationship. Like right now, I mean, it may seem like I'm on the Tay train, but she is a dope chick. Like, I really love the fact that she know how to do so many things. So just knowing who I am as an individual, I think that's why we do well as with the co-parenting.
So I just want to mention one more thing about some feedback we got, and how a couple of folks were saying how they appreciated going through the trilogy. It helped them to reflect on maybe a situation that they may be going through right now or have gone through in the past. And that's really why we wanted to share our story. I mean, we could have went on for days. There were so many things that was not included in that trilogy, just details here and there. We gave you guys the cliff notes, but we wanted to share our story to become relatable to you, because we're jumping into this podcast space. We think that we have unique takes on things that go on from day to day, and we wanted to share our thoughts on different topics, but we wanted you to get to know us a little bit first. So we really appreciate specifically that feedback, and we are really glad that we are able to help people reflect inward and take some inventory on what you may have going on in your life and deal with that accordingly. So thank you for the feedback. Please continue to give the feedback, whether it's constructive criticism, positive, negative. We want it all. So thank you. We
welcome all the feedback, and we appreciate it. We couldn't be more happier with the way it's coming across to you guys. So.
Yeah. So it's just our long-winded way of saying thank you, giving you a little bit of feedback on the feedback we had. So now, as you all know, we are no longer together, but we have a child. So we have to work together. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. How do we get along? How do we deal with co-parenting? How do we deal with when it's time to introduce our son to significant others? Because it's happened on 2 occasions on B. Will's end. So I think we're going to get into that if he wants to talk a little bit about that. But getting along.
The bus. She just ran me over the bus and then backed it down and did.
Bro, I didn't even say anything. I just said we might get into that if B. Wills wants to talk about it. Sheesh. I guess that's me having to stay in my place.
Stop being a bully. Stay in your place.
Staying in my place again.
Eat the cake, Adam May.
All right. Getting along. After our divorce, I always told him that I would be willing to help when I can. I'm not just going to leave you out in the lurch. I'm going to be willing.
All talk.
He thought that was all.
I thought
lip
that
service.
was just yes. That's
and
just
how crazy is that? That after all the years, you still thought I was being. You still thought I wasn't.
But that
a
was
woman
like
of my word.
That was the disclaimer on the way out. Like, here, I said this and I didn't really mean it. I don't know
You
why
really
I
thought
felt like
still
that.
I wasn't
I
a
was,
woman of my word.
you know what? We never really even got into it really, but I didn't realize that I was angry.
So I told him that I'd be available to help whenever I can. I'm not just going to leave you stranded. So, we've done grocery shopping sometimes. I'll come help clean sometimes, and just trying to be an assistant.
She has 100%, 200% kept her word on that. And it's still flabbergasting because I'm the type of person whereas I call you once, I call you twice, maybe 3 times, but after that third time, there's nothing. I'm not calling you again. I'm not doing that, and I don't have to do that. And she has the household, so I'm trying to be respectful, but she has kept her word. So I still can't believe that was true.
Yeah, so I think we also get along because there's just a mutual respect. We understand that we're both individuals. We both love this little boy. We're both his parent. So there are things, and this is kind of melding into the co-parenting. There are things where there just has to be a level of respect that comes into play, especially when you're co-parenting for the sake of the child. So respecting you as his father, you respecting me as his mother, us showing a united front so that he doesn't think he can play one of us against the other. Because kids, as you guys out there know who have children, especially in a situation where now you're not together and the child might feel like they, can get one up on one or the other. We make it very clear that we're on the same page. So if my son tells me something, maybe, something that happened at Dad's house, I'm going to call you right up.
And yes, you do.
And we're going to talk about it. And I'll have my son oftentimes listening to me call because I don't want him to feel like, oh, this is a secret conversation that we need to have. I want him to feel like it's okay that you told me what happened at Dad's. And if there's something that's concerning, I'm going to call Dad and we're going to talk about it, and vice versa. Like, I don't want him to feel, because oftentimes kids feel like they can't talk about what happened at Mom or Dad's house because either Mom or Dad's going to be mad. I don't want my son to feel that way at all. I want you to be free to tell Dad what happens at Mom's house and vice versa, because I don't have anything to hide. Nothing's going to happen in my house that puts my son at risk. Nothing's going to happen in my house that puts my son's mental health at risk either. And I want it to be the same when he's at Dad's house. So I think we have that understanding, no?
Yes, of course. And we have that understanding. How many times I call you for the littlest thing. Sometimes I feel like I overshare. But yes, I do that because I want that. He is an exceptional young man, little boy, growing up to be a young man. But he takes on my disability as if it's his own sometimes. As he's growing up now, he's ready to drop it. He's over it. But because he loves us so much, you can see the conflict on his face sometimes. And I don't want that. And I want him to be a kid. So yes, that's why I kind of just have to step in and make sure that you understand. And you sometimes have a better way of explaining things. And it's easier, and I used to fight it, and sometimes it's just easier to go along with the situation, I used to take so much offense to it, and it was like a challenge to my manhood. And now, kind of beat it in my head. I don't like the situation, but you have to take extra precautions because of my situation and my limitations. And it's not a jab at my manhood or character, because were I not in this situation, you would have no problem with allowing him or feeling comfortable when we go into different situations.
So are you talking about when I used to be like apprehensive with you guys going certain places? Like one occasion, like when he was younger, you guys went on a walk, and you live in the city, so you guys went on the walk, and at one point in time, like somebody my son, when he was younger, almost ran in the street, and you really can't manage that situation because you're in a wheelchair. So he almost got hit by a car, and there was nothing that you would have been able to do if that car didn't slam on their brakes. So yeah, that was difficult for you when I always used to say, ask you questions like, where you guys going? Where you going to be? How you going to be able to manage if such and such happens. So I don't want to be like the doomsday person, but I'm always thinking of what if such and such happened? How can you handle it? And I'm always thinking like that if it's me and my son and I have fully functioning legs. Like, I'm just always wanting to be aware of my surroundings. I want to be aware of what could pop off and be able to manage it should it happen. So, when that situation happened and you told me about it, of course, it just made me even more apprehensive. But I think it also helped you to be more aware of, what, yeah, something terrible could happen and I won't be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, so this is all new. The whole problem is this. I don't think anybody, and I may be wrong, but in my head, I feel as though people don't understand what I'm going through. So I'm having a problem understanding what I'm going through. This is all new. I've never been in this situation. So each new situation that I come into, it is new. And the problem with is trying to manage a brain that is still fully functional and that is able-bodied. A good friend of mine said I had the heart of a lion, the body of a mouse. And I wanted to fight him. But he was able to clean it up and say, well, you can get into situations because a mouse can contort his body, whereas a lion can't get into. And what the takeaway is basically just having to learn to work with what I have and to be able to use the abilities in a different way to still be, effective.
And I think you were going down this road a few seconds ago when it's hard because you've had full use of your body for so long, most of your life, and having it taken away in the last few years, you're still thinking like, I can still do all these things. Absolutely. But then when that situation happened and it kind of smacked you in the face of, oh, I don't have control of certain things. I can't do certain things even with my own child. That obviously was difficult pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And a reality check, because then I remember you got really upset, like, what if something would have happened? I would never forgive myself. And you went down that whole road of, like, freaking out. And
it's never a middle ground. And, I mean, I don't really have a middle ground. I'm either a hot and cold type of person. I've always struggled with the gray area in many aspects. So to go from my mindset that I can do this is no problem, because I mean, why not? There's nothing wrong with me, and I've been doing this. I've done this before. My favorite saying, which really has no weight anymore, is like, this is not the first rodeo. I've had a child before. And I feel stupid, and it's such a stupid phrase, instead of just working with you. And I had the audacity to think that I wasn't being combative at that time, but that's another conversation. But in the reality checked, in that moment, I realized that my limitations were way bigger than and way more of a threat than I had initially estimated. And that right there, and I don't think you understand that. Like, every day you wake up and you have an agenda, whether you realize it or not, because you just on autopilot. But you have already estimated certain situations that could potentially pop off, as you said. And you know how to handle those. And now for me to realize that I can't even do the simplest thing, as like somebody reaches out to go, or my child falls, I have to think about that situation.
You're saying you think I don't understand that. I do understand that, which is why I always used to say to you, I don't think that's a good idea for you to do that. Because in my head, I'm thinking of your limitations. I think that you don't understand that because your pride is in your head so much, to whereas you, like you said, you always say to me, I've had a child before, but you've never had a child before when you were in a wheelchair. You've never had a toddler. You've never had a young child, a school-age child, when you were in a wheelchair. And when that situation happened, that was a huge reality check. And I freaked out too, because I was like, this is what I'm telling you. This is the type of stuff that I'm saying. This is the stuff that I worry about. And that was a difficult conversation for us to have. because I know you were upset about it. Of course, I was upset about it. And I didn't want to do the I told you so, but I needed you to understand that this is the type of things that I'm talking about. Something really bad could happen, and you would have to just sit there and watch it happen and be powerless to do anything about it. And I know you don't want to be in a situation like that. And I definitely don't want to be in a situation like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. And but I am glad, and I think that was, to be honest, I don't remember when that happened, how long ago, but there was a switch in the relationship, in our dynamics, because I understood what you would now be freaking out, because I would have random moments where I would see, like, I would have that tunnel vision and that you've been having for years. And I would see the potential dangers. And now I'm don't do this, don't do that. And, or I'm where I was the cool and laid back dad. Now I'm a little more edgy. I'm giving all these lectures and principles because I now see the dangers, and I know that I can't help. So not only is it a danger to my child, but it's a danger to my physical body itself, because any little thing that happens to me, I can't manage the fallout because of the lack of feeling. So it became something way more urgent.
Real, I think, too.
Real. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. We try our best to co-parent. We communicate, and we just keep lines open. Our son is fully aware that we keep lines open. Like, I just had to call B. Wills the other day about something. He accused me of stealing his HDMI cord. And
you did take my cord. What did you call my? I accused you.
Oh, my gosh.
It was
so
in
I
the TV.
Him. Like, what is this shenanigans you talking about? I stole your HDMI cord. So it's a free-flowing communication that we have, which is great.
Because you take that little boy's side like it's gospel. That's
you darn right I take my son's side.
Exactly. Like, the boy lies.
How dare you? Don't you dare say that. He does not lie. You know darn well he does not lie.
He's not a liar, but
he did not lie, though. You did say I took your HDMI cord. You said it.
Oh, yes. That time.
Exactly. Don't be... Listen.
That was that time.
Don't be calling my son a liar.
Calling me. We ain't even gonna get in this because I ain't got.
There's nothing you could say.
Whatever.
That's my poisons.
See, bully. Yes, you know what? I take that back. You see this? She is condescending.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm just sunning you all over the place. At point, my son asked me if I'm sunning him. I'm like, son, you're my son. Of course, I sun you. I sun you every day.
Yeah, that was funny.
So introducing him to significant others. Do you want to talk about this? B. Wills had to do it twice. We have this agreement in place, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be condescending to you, that if we are to introduce him to someone, we are going to let the other person know ahead of time that, hey, we're going to be introducing him to someone that we think is going to be a person worthy of being introduced. And that's the agreement we had in place. That's all. Like, I don't need to meet the person. I trust you enough as a father to not be introducing my child to some crackheads. And if not, if I need to get tagged in, I'll tag myself in with no problem. But I'll give you the leeway.
Absolutely.
To know that this person is a good person to introduce to him. So that's the agreement that we have. I haven't had to do it yet. B. Wills have done it twice.
I want to say a 1.5.
No,
0.5.
Listen, it was twice. Yeah. I don't know if you want to get into that. I just listen.
For real.
I just put that out there because I just want.
How you gonna put that out? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want people to know what our agreement is. That's our agreement. And I'm just saying, The score right now is 2-0. So,
yeah, exactly. So now we going to just
2-B wheels.
You're just going to take the
me.
bus, roll it over me, and hit the little
not.
button.
Listen, we don't even have to go down this road. I'm just letting the people out there know
I feel like
that as co-parents, we can be mature enough to have this agreement in place. Although B Wills didn't follow the agreement the first time. See
what I'm saying? Now I gotta go play ahead and plead my case. I had a concussion.
We're not even talking about that. I'm just saying there was a day outing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I might have dropped the ball on that one.
There was some food feeding.
But it was, oh, God.
And
I'm throwing up.
I had to make a call. But that's our agreement. I think that's what works for us. I don't know if you would agree. People out there, do what works for you. I would just recommend having open communication as co-parents. That's the most important thing. Whatever agreements you guys want to make that works for the both of you, make those agreements. I just feel like, as a respect for each other as parents, I want to know if you're going to do that. And I think respecting you as a father, it's only right for me to tell you that if I'm going to introduce your child to somebody.
I mean, because first of all, I don't know. I'm still contemplating whether I'm going to get in that situation because they was traumatic, and I don't even count them. One Control Alt Delete situation.
We might get into it later. You don't have to.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But I really think it's a respectful thing. And as far as how as I started to say, the dynamic of our relationship, you need to be a special person and understand that, look, between us, Mom is going to be on hands on deck with this little boy, regardless. There's no ifs and buts about it. It's just how it is. And it is easier to go along with the situation than try to buck it because it's not going to work. If you try to put any type of resistance in this situation, you're going to get the horns.
Stop paying me with that brush.
What? Please. Do we need to go in? Do we need to tiptoe into the situation?
What's the tip? Well,
no, you do not play.
Whatever. I was super nice. As a matter of fact, I was the person that tried to help acclimate our son to your new situation. Am I wrong?
No, you are absolutely
exactly.
Correct.
I tried to help. Now, I don't know for anybody out there who's co-parenting. I don't know any of you moms out there who actively try to help your child be okay with the new woman. But I tried to do that. And I got bucked in resistance. So now that you're going to go ahead and try to play me, now I'm going to have to get petty.
Yeah, this is not what you want.
So,
smoke.
I'm trying to be nice. My initial plan, yeah, is
after the shock.
After the extreme shock, my initial plan is to make sure my son's okay with the situation. And if that's me putting whatever I need to put aside to say, hey, this is okay. Let's all get together. I'll stay in the background just so you can be comfortable. You go with Dad and this new one, and you guys have your day. But just to make sure my son's comfortable, hey, I'll be back here in the cut. Did I not do that?
And even afterward, you were still the person that was trying to make sure that there was some type of sense and grace or whatever. I mean, you were giving ideas, so I'm not going to, there was a lot.
Because all I care about is that my son feels comfortable in the new situation. He still feels comfortable coming to Dad's house. That's all I care about. If he's comfortable, I'm good.
And that was not the case.
Yeah, so it's just open communication.
And as far as the other disappearing,
we don't need to go into your situation.
It was a 48-hour hold.
Stop. So maybe B Wills needs some introspective thought on, do I really need to do this introduction right now or no?
No, we're not doing it. I've learned. We're good. We're all set on that.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying as far as introductories and moving forward in the future, if there is, I'm good.
Well, you already know how I am with that because you ain't meet my older son for a grip. So
yeah, I had a plan. I knew better, but like I said, I did it the right way. I tried. For the second situation, it was a situationship anyways, but for the sake of not repeating the disaster from before. I just was like, here, this is what it is. But, that situation wasn't even that serious anyways. Yeah. So moving right along, what's the other topic we got?
Up on the docket, we're getting into some real shenanigans now. Here we go.
We're doing good with it. I think with every situation that we encounter, even because this little boy's getting older, so now we're still navigating this. Yeah. And you might have a better better idea on these. And I am no longer into my feelings, so I'm trying to do the best that I can. And as my new favorite saying, I just want to enjoy parallel moments and along to be able to look back on and say, look, I always had my mom and dad, and at any given moment I could call on them with no problem. So
right, without having to feel some type of way.
Exactly.
And he's getting older, so it's getting a lot easier. But I think we've done great so far.
Absolutely.
He's not, he's not the type of kid who feels apprehensive at all about speaking to either of us. So that's we can check that box off.
Oh, definitely check
a
that
win
box
for us.
off.
Yeah. Down to the real shenanigans. So I think for each week, we're going to try something new. We're going to have a hypothetical question of the week. We're going to have man versus woman views of the week. And then we're going to do a little blurb on something new. Hypothetical question of the week. And disclaimer, we promote monogamous relationships. We are not of the sort to encourage infidelity in any way. So this is admittedly something I did. This question I took from another podcast I listened to, and we just thought it was funny and wanted to just put it out there. So hypothetical question of the week is, so you're in a relationship, committed relationship, fiancéed, married.
Booed up.
But however, you happen to have a side person or an ex. Let's say it's a side person or ex, and you find out that person is no longer with us. So this person has passed away.
The side piece has passed.
How do you mourn that person? Do you feel free to mourn that person in the open? Do you go to the funeral? Like, it 100% different if it's like a side person because your spouse doesn't know about them. But let's say it's an ex and your spouse knows about this ex and they've passed away. How do you mourn this person? Do you feel free to cry about it during the day?
I think I should be warned at two
questions,
two answers. I used to be that dude.
He always been that.
I've
dude.
always been
let
that
her know.
Dude back in the day.
Let her know that you always been that dude.
And then I got to give the B Wills answer.
So do you tell your spouse, "Hey, I'm just sad today because Linda died"? And do you tell, or just mourn in silence? You just taking that long nap and cry inside.
Is this person like you?
It's just the person that you're.
Because if she's like you, I am mourning in silence. No, that's really funny because how do you mourn somebody and you're in a relationship? I think I'm just coming to you because you remember that crazy chick I told you about that set all my clothes on fire?
Well,
she just passed.
That may be your experience, but I'm just saying there's some people out there who've had, relationships that they cared about and maybe just didn't work out and the person passed away and you're sad.
Okay, so here's the B Will's answer to that. I mean, and if there was a good amount of communication in the beginning, you guys talked about these past relationships, why not? I mean, if it wasn't nothing crazy and she knows about it and be like, hey, I just found out such and such that, that's sad. That's a conversation. Remember what you said in, episode 2, I believe it is? Had I come home and told you that I was just propositioned, that would have brought you together
Okay,
closer?
yes. But that was somebody actively trying to disrupt our family. So in my scenario, I'm not going to say anything. I might be sad within myself, but I'm not just going to be like, hey, my ex that I dated before we got together, he died and I'm a little sad today. I'm not going to bring it up.
I'm not going to bring it up. And I know how I feel about death anyways. I don't like death, so I'm not bringing... I wouldn't generally bring it up in general.
Yeah. So that was our hypothetical question of the day. Feel free to
comment on that. We like to see
comment
that.
on that and
Send some feedback on that one.
discuss it amongst yourselves.
Can't wait to see the comments on that one.
So now the man versus woman questions of the week. First one: if you are dating someone and you're serious with this person, what is one thing, or what would you be judging this person on if they didn't or did have in their house?
So I need a clean bathroom and a clean kitchen. If I'm in an apartment, no, I don't care which is which, because I'm gonna go to both places within that point. I need something to drink or what have you, and I need to see what that cleaning, because I need to know what your cleaning habits are. The bathroom got to be clean and the kitchen need to be clean. I'm judging you on those. I mean, I got some other things because I need sheets to be smelling right.
Oh my gosh, why are you in the sheet business right now?
I'm just saying. I said some other things. I didn't say right now.
I completely agree that the bathroom would have to be clean. So like if I had to use the bathroom and I go in there and it's just a disaster, it would have to be clean, and it can't smell like a bathroom. You know what I mean? It has to smell clean too. Like when I walk in the house, it needs to smell clean.
You need to smell your bleach.
No, not that. It doesn't have to be bleachy. It just has to have a pleasant smell. It can't smell like
you use
old
more than
food.
just.
It can't smell like trash. Yeah, like it needs to have a clean smell, and it has to be neat. Like, because sometimes single guys, bachelors, you guys be messy. Like, I can't walk in and see clothes laying all over your floor and stuff like that. It, to me, is going to be like, all right, so he don't be cleaning up his house. Like, I'm judging on that 100%.
Yeah, I'm actually judging with that too. I don't need to see clothes in the corner, and I actually have been in a situation I haven't seen that. So yeah, no, this is not, because I can't come back unless we making some. You better be doing some explaining, and I'm gonna definitely need to see a second. There's gonna have to be a second visit, because if you explain their way about excuse the clothes, everybody has that moment where laundry, but sparks is flying. You feel comfortable enough to bring this person into your cipher, your personal space, and that sometimes could be a test. But yeah, so if you explain it away, I definitely need to come back and see the part 2 and make sure this is spick and span. Okay, Shawty, there you go. Shawty, I like how you did that over there. I'm a neat freak, and I try to be. I need the house to be right, because I grew up where my mother was a firm believing in the house had to be clean just in case somebody popped out.
I know darn well you ain't just say you're a neat freak.
Why you going to
see? That's a lie.
All right.
Everybody. That's a lie.
Okay. We're going to say not a neat freak. I like my house to be clean.
I am a neat freak.
Yes.
But yeah. Interesting question. Leave comments on that one too. What are you judging somebody on if they have or don't have in their house?
That's the only thing you're judging them if they. So those 3 things.
Those are the things that are going to pop out to me immediately. Because if I'm just visiting your house for the first time, like I'm not going to know about your sheets. I'm not going to know about anything like that. It needs to smell clean. Your bathroom needs to be clean, and it needs to be neat. Like, it don't need to be like spick and span, but it just has to be presentable.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. Because, yeah, a smell, you know me with smells. A smell would literally, that I will shut the door on a smell. I can't take smells.
You're not even getting to the door if the dude chews wrong or drink. If you at the table and he's drinking and his drinking habits are too loud, you're never going to make it there.
Rough. It is rough.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What's the etiquette?
We'll put that on the list for next week. We could put that on the list for next week, 100%. Put that down. Female-male etiquette. We're talking about that next week. But we do have a second man versus woman question of the day. This was something that I was talking to a friend about, and how it differs between men and women, and thoughts on lingerie.
I like it.
I can take it or leave it. It's not like a huge thing for me. I think lingerie is more for the guy.
I'm about to say, you could take lingerie on a man.
Do they have male lingerie? I think they do.
I feel like It's
I'm
just
gonna have
underwear.
to Google that. Is it just?
I mean, we only have one thing.
You know
we're
what
going
though?
for.
No, I think that they made bodysuits for men now. I think men have body. Do men have bodysuits?
You asking the wrong person.
I know Skims has a male line. I wonder what. I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah,
I don't want nothing crazy popping up on my phone. I'm scared to Google male lingerie.
I'm about to say you about to have a whole dude with a fluffy little flowers.
I don't want it. Pineapples. I don't want to see it. I think that men have bodysuits. Now let me think. If I think about the Fenty Savage line, yeah. Well, she's got nice robes. She's got nice robes for men. She's got the silky boxers. I guess that would be male lingerie, right? Like the silky stuff.
The
you guys
male
don't got no lace
pajamas, the silk pajamas and stuff.
Yeah.
Full set with the just a open shirt,
all silky. Okay, so if I'm thinking of it like that, I mean, yeah, a nice silk pair of boxers it's cute. It's it's okay. But for me, like lingerie for me, I have it, but I can take it or leave it. I'm just fine in the long t-shirt too. So, it's
depends on the purpose.
It's what's cozy. Well, yeah, depends on the person.
Sometimes
depends on
lingerie, I don't care what you put on, it's just not working.
Oh, snap! Dang. He's firing all day today.
I'm just saying, sometimes lingerie, putting a red lingerie on a 2x4 is just not going to make it sexy.
Yeah.
Just you're going to put doo-doo
in it. It doesn't spice it up a little bit? It doesn't help at all?
Okay, I'm going to ask it this way. If you put doo-doo in the pack inside of a Ziploc bag disgusting. And put some potpourri on it, does it make it enticing?
I don't know.
Wait. Did you just say, I don't know to that?
I tried to block out everything you just said. I really tried to block out.
All right, so we're going to put it up. And
after the poop entered the conversation, my ears just turned off. Depending on the scenario, there's a time and place for it, I guess.
A time and place
for it. Because you can't just be
tissue?
Wearing a lingerie every day.
Exactly.
It's not comfortable.
And it's great to look at.
Yeah, I think guys enjoy it more than women.
Yes. Some women like having it on, and it becomes very comfortable. I like those women.
Does it, though? You think it becomes comfortable?
Some of it is. Some of it is comfortable. If they wearing it every day, and I see you got the dental floss on every day, it's comfortable.
Who says that? Have you ever heard that beauty is pain? Like, women just deal with stuff.
Okay,
so it doesn't mean it's comfortable. It just means that.
Yes, you're right. Well, thank you, ladies, for the shoe aside and
exactly
the other whatever painful situation goes on with the lingerie. I like it.
Man versus women. Questions of the week. This is going to be interesting. Okay. All right.
So far, I'm winning on the lingerie.
Yeah, hey, have that. I don't think it's terrible, but I'm not wearing it every night.
This ain't about you.
Clearly, if you said it just gets comfortable.
Hey,
listen, then you put it on. You tell me when it starts to get comfortable.
Hey, they didn't make that for me. That's not my department.
I'm gonna Google that. We'll see. I'll get back to you guys next week. All right. Last thing, something new. I just want to say that I recently tried overnight oats. I've been hearing about it. I've been hearing about overnight oats for a while, and I just tried it. I had a client meeting, and they had some overnight oats there. And I tried it. It was, oh my gosh, it was so good. So you take dry oatmeal, you put it like in a jar, container. You add whatever type of milk you like. I prefer almond milk. You add whatever type of ingredients you like. So, for instance, I added some agave, and I added some peanut butter, and you mix it up. It's all cold ingredients. So the oats are not cooked. They're raw, they're dry. Mix it all up, and then you put it in the fridge overnight. Then next morning, everything is set. It's like a delicious oatmeal treat. And I also add like mini chocolate chips to it. It tastes like a granola bar.
Really?
It's so delicious.
What's
overnight oats. It's like sweetener. Agave.
Agave, is it Jello? I mean, like
it looks like syrup. It looks like syrup.
So
But
that's
it's a
what
sweetener.
that's why. Oh, so you stirred it all together. So what you did was make a healthy Rice Krispie cake. So it was
Yeah,
an
it
oatmeal
sets.
treat. I don't understand what that means. Did you cut it? Did you slurp it?
No, it's like
You
a
spoon-
it's like oatmeal. It's cold oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Oh, so it's kind of thick.
Yeah, it thickens up overnight.
It's not Junior's type of oatmeal.
No,
Because that's
No.
what I'm thinking you talking
yeah,
about.
no.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's so good. If you've not tried overnight oats, give it a try. I'm telling you, it evaded me for quite a while, but I gave in and I tried some. It is delicious.
I'm out to. Where do you buy overnight oats?
Did you not hear me? I just said I made it.
I know, but you got.
I don't
okay,
know
so-
if you can buy it. I wouldn't buy it because I like to eat mine the next day. I don't want it to set too long.
Okay, so you said you had it at work.
Yeah, one of the vendors brought in. I don't know how long theirs was. They might have made it the night before.
So theirs might not have been overnight.
It was. They might have made it the night before, and then they brought it into the event.
You could have had
So
2-day old.
I could have had 2-day-old oats, but it was still delicious, and it had me make my own. So I made it.
You went up and asked them how to
I
make
got some
it.
in the fridge right now. No, I googled how to make it.
So
Yep.
it's just any oatmeal,
Yeah.
regular oats.
Yeah.
Like you go to Whole Foods and get the.
I got the
plain
Bob's Mills oats.
Bob's Mills. Where'd
Yeah.
you get that at?
Walmart. I got the Bob's Mills oats. Put in 3/4 of a cup of oatmeal. Put in a cup of almond milk. 2 teaspoons of peanut butter. 1 tablespoon of agave syrup. Mix that bad boy up. Put it in the fridge. When I'm hungry the next morning, since I'm intermittent fasting, I don't eat until 1. By then I'm like super hungry, so I just pull that out. It's already made, and it's so delicious.
I might have to try that out.
Yeah. So something new, everybody. If you haven't had overnight oats, check them out.
Overnight oats with peanut butter, maple syrup. For me,
Oh, okay. Get your maple syrup on then. All right. Is that the end of our show today?
I think that's the end of it. I think we did a
I
good
love
one.
it.
It's not as long today. The whole idea is to have fun, to entertain, to incite, and to make aware. Thank you again for supporting. I'm
Thank
B.
you.
Wills.
I'm Tay. Shenanigans, the podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Peace out.
Peace.